I'll call to order the council meeting for the Region of Peel for Thursday, March the 10th. Roll call, all are present except Councillor Gibson, who's on vacation, Councillor Yanika, Councillor McFadden on a personal matter, Councillor Medeiros on vacation, Councillor Miles on vacation, Councillor Pedleski, personal matter, Councillor Sato, personal matter, Councillor Tovey is absent.
And
Mayor Jeffrey indicated she'll be late. Are there any declarations of conflicts of interest? Seeing none, approval of the minutes, moved by Councillor Mahoney, seconded by... Oh, sorry. Mayor Crombie.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman. I actually read the minutes very closely. There is an inaccuracy, I think, reported, because it's not what I thought I voted on. When we were discussing a transit subsidy for low-income residents, there was a comment made by Mayor Thompson that we direct staff to look at a regional transportation study. I don't support that, and I don't think that's a good use of staff's time, particularly given that we are in negotiations with the province to look at integrated fares and Presto. I don't think moving towards a regional transit authority is something I would be very interested in. So I'm not sure if that was direction from staff. I thought that was a comment Mayor Thompson had made, but I didn't recognize it to be a direction at least I wanted to go. So could we have some clarification, because not particularly interested in a regional transit authority. Page 49 of the minutes. And I think that might not be a good use of staff's time, given what's going on at the provincial level.
Mayor Thompson, if you'd like to respond.
Yeah, what I did was I said, well, let's look at what the feasibility is and come back with it. I think we need to have a good understanding of what it would be. We need to figure out how we can make this work. So if you didn't understand it, that was the direction that I had left it as.
Yeah, I don't support that. I think that's a huge undertaking for staff in a direction I don't think we will go in light of the meeting we had at the province this week, and I know you were in attendance, as was Mayor Jeffrey, and they're looking at a different direction with respect to integration of fares and overseeing things perhaps as an entire region at the province, or at least the GTAH. So I think this is a project for staff that won't go anywhere, and I know they're busy on so many files, so I'm not sure that I think it's necessary that we direct them to study a regional transit authority. That isn't a direction I'm willing to go at all.
Well, I think the reason why I brought it forward is I think we need to get an understanding so that even the local municipalities still have a control on where the transit's going to be taking place, because where you're looking at it is if you let the province take it, I think you're going to lose full autonomy of what you're trying to do.
I'm going to suggest to both mayors that we have staff connect with the province and get clarification on where we're going. I think.
Thank you. That's
all right.
I'm satisfied.
Okay, thank you. Any other amendments or with respect to the minutes? And moved by Councillor Mahoney, seconded by Councillor Fonseca. All in favor? Opposed, if any? I don't see hands on the minutes. Okay. Approval of the agenda then?
This is the one with the expropriation.
Moved by Mayor Crombie, seconded by Mayor Thompson, that recommendations 3, 5, and 6 contained within the in-camera matters, item 15.1, listed on the March 10th, 2016 Regional Council agenda, be withdrawn, and further that the in-camera bylaws 21-2016, 23-2016, and 24-2016, listed on the March 10th, 2016 Regional Council agenda, be withdrawn, and further that the agenda for the March 10th, 2016 Regional Council meeting be approved as amended. And the reason for those withdrawals is that apparently they were able to negotiate a settlement on the purchase of those properties.
Okay.
All right. All in favor then? Opposed, if any? Carried. Thank you. Delegations, we have none today. Items related to human services, counts? No one. I can take it. There's only one item there for information. Any comments or discussion with respect to that? Seeing none, then...
Mayor
oh, sorry, Mayor Crombie. cease
Sorry,
glasses.
Mr. Chair. I just wanted to say congratulations on the great work done. We too at Mississauga are looking at our affordable housing strategy, and some of the suggestions will fit nicely with what we're trying to accomplish. I had actually spoken with a developer, the one who built Regent Park, and some of the initiatives they used, and I think those same principles can be applied to what you're doing and what we hope to do, I think, in Mississauga when our report comes back. So just wanted to congratulate you. I thought it was very well done and going forward, giving a lot of our low-income residents an opportunity for housing they may not have otherwise had. So I liked it. I liked some of the ideas, and I know that we're undertaking our own study to meet the needs of our own residents as well. So thank you. I'd like to move that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Parrish.
Yes, I'd like to actually compliment Gail Bursey on her role as Acting Commissioner of Human Services. She did an amazing job. She was very helpful with me. She's very approachable, did a really good job, and I'd just like to thank her. This report is typical of what she and her staff have been doing, and she's done a really good job.
Thank you so much for those comments. Will you second it then?
Yes, I will, happily.
Thank you. All in favor? Oh, Mayor Thompson.
No, I think everything that Gail's done, not just this portfolio, but managing the whole department, I think she did a terrific job. We're really pleased with what she's done.
Thank you for your comments as well. All in favor then? Opposed, if any? Carried. Moves us to items related to enterprise programs and services. Councillor Fonseca, if you'd be kind enough to chair this section, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item 7.1 is the Procurement Activity Quarterly Report, and this is for information. Seeing no questions, moved by Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Starr. All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Item 7.2 is the proposed road closure and transfer of region-owned lands located within Hurontario Street north of Regional Road 3, Britannia Road West in Ward 5, City of Mississauga. Moved by Councillor Parrish, seconded by Councillor Ross. All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Item 7.3 is staff and function of the Office of the Regional Chair. This is a report on request, and it's for information. Councillor Moore.
Thank you very much. Through you, Madam Chair, I'd like to thank the Chair for putting the report together. And perhaps in future, I think it would be best if we had sort of the report beforehand so that we understood the rationale for some of the changes rather than sort of have to wonder what's going on. I think that what you've outlined in the report in terms of the staffing needs and the directions for the department is something that is something you need the support of all of council on moving forward.
No, and that's a fair comment. I very much appreciate it. I think it's just that what happened is coming into the office right away and bringing my EA, and then, so the first step was to ask to ensure that there was enough money in that budget, and then it just fell into place with respect to the funding. But it's a point well taken, and in the future, certainly I'll follow the protocol with respect at budget time to at least have a note explaining if there's any additional changes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Groves.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I too would like to, I raised this item at budget, during budget, and I would like to thank the Chair for bringing it forward. It just gives us a better idea of what's happening, so thank you.
Well, I actually appreciate you asking me to do the report, because then at
Yes.
least there's a public record.
Absolutely.
So,
Yes.
You know, thanks for your comments.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Mayor
Thank you.
Crombie.
I just wanted to say that your staffing is in line with other regions, is appropriate.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
I think it was important. I'll just echo what was said. I think going through having to do the report was important, and seeing also the comparisons from other regions, very important. So glad that it was raised, and thank you for doing the report. So we'll move by Councillor Groves, seconded by Mayor Crombie. All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. 7.4 is report from the regional clerk regarding the Lobby Registry and Integrity Commissioner Committee meeting held on February 18th, 2016. Moved by Councillor Ross, second by Councillor Moore.
Just have a question.
Yes, Mayor Crombie.
Sorry, Madam Chair, just had a question on it, actually. So the meeting didn't have quorum, so the fact that there was going to be a recommendation discussed at the next meeting, is that appropriate if the meeting didn't have quorum?
There was a presentation at that meeting, so, and you moved receipt of the presentation. Maybe Councillor Ross, you're on the committee, so.
There was a recommendation from staff that we discuss.
Oh, now it's on. Thank you, Mr. Chair and Madam Chair. The, we didn't move any of the items because we didn't have quorum. So we heard the presentations, and as
information.
part of the process, staff were already in the process of developing a recommendation that will come forward.
Okay, so this is moving receipt of the minutes?
We're just
and-
moving receipt.
Sorry, it's not even
For
minutes.
information?
It's just
Just
information.
an information.
It's just a report for me to say that there was no quorum, this is what was chatted about, but it's not minutes. So there's no actual recommendations coming to council through this document. It's just a report from me saying the meeting occurred, but
Okay.
it's not minutes.
So we're moving for information, receiving information. Moved by Councillor Ross, seconded by Councillor Moore. All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Okay, thank you. Item 7.5 is the report of the Region Appeal Accessibility Advisory Committee. Moved by Councillor Grove, seconded by Councillor Mahoney. All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Item 7.6 is report of the Growth Management Committee meeting held on March 3rd. Move it. Moved by Mayor Crombie, seconded by Mayor Thompson. All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Item 7.7 is a report of the Government Relations Committee meeting held on March 3rd. And this is also related to item 8.3, so we'll bring that up and move them together. Councillor Parrish.
I kind of lost touch of the Government Relations Committee, but we have a big problem down in Mississauga with Metrolinx in Ward 8 that got a little airtime yesterday. I have a big problem on Gorway Drive with CN and the province dragging its heels on freeing up some land there. I would like to task the Government Relations Committee with pounding on the door of the Queen's Park crew and seeing if we can get some action out of them. This has been very long and very onerous process, and we're about to go into an LRT build, and if this is the way Metrolinx behaves, I'm not too optimistic about how well that's going to go. So I think we need to send somebody down to Queen's Park and tell them we're not taking it anymore, and we would like some action on these two items, particularly and sound a shot over the bow on the LRT and make sure it doesn't become a mess. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Parrish. Mayor Crombie?
Just because Councillor Parrish referenced the issue we discussed yesterday, we have Councillor Mahoney and I have been speaking to Metrolinx, and they are very eager to work with us to resolve our issues as quickly and as expeditiously and effectively, efficiently as possible. And they're going to tour the site again today. Congratulations to Councillor Mahoney for raising the issue, and it looks like hopefully your residents will get a satisfactory response.
Okay, so we'll move receipt of the Government Relations Committee report and also communications item 8.3 with direction to look at advocating down at Queen's Park as an agenda item on this committee, or bringing it to the Government Relations Committee. Is that following process? All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Then on to items of communication. 8.1 is Sylvia Jones, MPP, Dufferin-Caledon, letter dated January 29th. This is recommending receipt. Mayor Thompson.
Yes, I would say more than recommending receipt on this one, if we could please send that back to Mark Head in the Planning Department, because this is an issue that involves Brampton and Caledon and possibly in Mississauga as well. And we don't want it to impede with what Councillor Tovey's wanting to do down at the waterfront. So I would really appreciate if our staff could please take that and look at it and maybe come back with a report to see if they agree with it or what the concerns are, and have it come back to council.
Okay, so you're moving receipt
I'm moving receipt.
with direction for staff to bring back a
yeah.
report. Okay, Councillor Shaughnessy.
I was going to say something similar to Mayor Thompson, but I think there was a date it had to, I was just quickly trying to go through here.
Yeah.
Is there not a date that it has to be in by March 26th or something?
Comment, but we still have two-month window, 60 days after that.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
So within the 60-day window, the report would have to come back.
Yes.
Okay, so moved by Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Shaughnessy. All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. Item 8.2 is a letter dated January 29th from Shauna Danton, Legislative Coordinator for City of Brampton, with regards to the City of Brampton 5-year official plan review status update, and this is receipt recommended. Mayor Thompson,
Oh,
are
sorry.
you on the,
No.
you're on the board? No. Okay. Moved by Councillor Moore, seconded by Councillor Sporvieri. All in favor? Any opposed? Carried. And we've already moved item 8.3. Back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Items related to Public Works, Councillor Starr, if you'll chair this section, please.
Okay, the first item is 9.1, the implications of the regional assumption of stormwater system. It's for information. Any questions or comments?
There's Crombie.
Oh, Mayor Crombie?
There it is. Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's just for information, so that's fine, but I just wanted to comment that I've spoken with our staff, and we're very pleased to be dealing with our stormwater systems and don't have any intention of uploading them to the region, so maybe I'll just leave it there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So you're moving,
Moving it.
seconded by Mayor Thompson. All in favor? Carried. Second item is the amendment to the traffic bylaw on Caledon, Ward 2. Any questions, comments? Moved by Councillor Downey, seconded by Councillor Groves. All in favor? Carried. 9.3 is the report of the Waste Management Committee last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago. Any questions or comments?
You want to ask that?
Yeah, I just need clarification, yeah.
Can we?
Oh, okay, as chair, then I'll ask. I just need clarification, Dan, on the report and exactly what we're going to be doing. I see the way it was written. Are we looking to release 30,000 tons, or are we looking for a report, or I'm not sure.
With Emerald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I could, just for those members of council who weren't at the committee meeting, one of the delegations, the folks from Emerald Energy, offered to up to 30,000 tons of waste if we wanted to divert it from landfill. I guess the staff response is we'd be more than happy to look at that once our legal obligations to our existing landfill contract expires next year. So I did indicate we have to come back to council later this summer because we have to give a 1-year notice of what we're doing with that agreement, and as part of that report, we would bring back some analysis on potential options, which could include that Emerald offer. So, but our position is we have a legal obligation to fulfill contracts, the interim contract we had with Waste Management. We cannot divert garbage for incineration at this point.
Okay, so it really doesn't preclude us from looking at the overall situation now.
No, as I indicated at the committee, the contract, the obligation comes up for renewal next year. We have to give them a year's notice if we choose to want to look at it differently. And I think the general, at this point, my position would be that we should. I think landfill prices have changed. There are other options out there. And then this option from Emerald should be looked at. At least council can look at it and make a decision. So we'll bring that back later this summer, early fall, so we can make the 1-year deadline, and then we can start a process to look at it. But we can't divert anything until November the 1st of 2017.
Thank you. Councillor, or Mayor Crombie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I really enjoy the time I've spent on waste management. It seems I've missed a few meetings, and I look forward on my schedule, and I'm going to miss a few more, so I'm wondering if I'm not better substituted on that committee. I don't know how we do this properly.
Well, it's a great committee.
I know it is,
We
but
deal
I'm-
with some of the best product in the Peel region.
Touches everybody.
I've gotten a few
Touches
warnings.
everybody.
Mr. Chairman, I've gotten a few warnings about missing meetings, and I look at my schedule going forward, and I'm going to miss a few more, given
Well, why
other
don't we do
commitments.
it very informally then? Is
Certainly.
there somebody else that would like to get on the committee? There you go. You've got a substitute already,
Perfect.
Councillor Rass. Okay, maybe what we can do is formalize that we can do this at the end of the, what do you suggest?
How does that work, please,
So,
Clerk?
Mayor Crombie, you'd like to resign from the committee, and council would like to appoint Councillor
Raz.
Raz? That's
I'll be
fine.
happy to
We can-
attend
we can
as
vote for that right
a
now.
non-voting member when time permits,
When
but
time
thank you.
permits. Okay.
Thank you,
And
Councillor Harris.
I'll just point out at the last committee meeting, we did add Councillor Parrish as well.
Right,
So she's on the committee as well.
thank you.
See, as soon as we started Rena Squirrel, she's up to
There
everything.
you go.
Okay, great, thank you. Councillor
We
Parrish.
actually-
Yes, I'm happy to have Councillor Rass on there with me. We can trash talk together. That was her line, not mine. Also, in addition to, it could have been mine though, it sounds like me.
I think it was Elaine's.
The Emerald Energy, in reference to that, we also had Nicole Willett from Waste Management, who had another alternative that many of the people on the committee preferred, and I know the chair of the committee preferred. So while we're considering Emerald, I want us also to bring forward the report from Waste Management. That was a very good presentation, and I think it's in keeping with our hopes of reducing waste rather than just burning it. So I just wanted to make that point.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? Motion by Councillor Carlson, seconded by Councillor Yanika. All in favor? Carried. Hanlon Water Main, 9.4. Questions, comments? Moved by Councillor Fonseca.
Question,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
I'm sorry. Just a question on paid off-duty police officers. We use the ambassadors, and that seemed to work well. Why are we going to paid off-duty police officers in the future?
Actually, through you, Mr. Chairman, we
Good
use
night.
both. The ambassadors are more kind of a customer service focus, kind of walking ahead of the project and following up behind. Paid duty officers are used exclusively for traffic management. They're authorized to do that. So we did change the program. We came up with an innovative way of managing paid duty through the Hanlon project, and it saved us money as well as manage the traffic on that project relatively well. And we're just saying we want to expand that project or that program into other high critical projects that have traffic management issues. And
Yeah.
the ambassador will be same kind of thing, but they're two different pieces. One's traffic management, one's customer service.
Dan, what was the cost, please? Remind me, I'm just looking back here.
The total cost of,
So far to date, using off-duty
I
paid
don't
police
believe that's
officers?
in the report. I could bring something back to. let
Is
you-
there no other options in using off-duty police officers? That seems like a very high-ticket way to go.
Well, we tried to minimize it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, they are authorized to manage traffic, and civilian
other-
staff aren't.
No other options?
Well, the other option is not to.
No.
And this program is being very successful in getting more police officers basically doing the traffic management, and as well the innovation of working with the police service. You know, one of the biggest costs of paid duty isn't necessarily the officer, it's renting the vehicle. And you're basically taking full-scale police vehicles out of service. You know, they've allowed us, in effect, to buy used police vehicles that are kind of their gently loved fleet, and we move them off. They're dedicated to our program, so it's not taking their full-service vehicles out of their hands. So that was a big saving to them and us. And then having basically a coordinator, and that's what the procurement piece is. The coordinator ensures that there's a kind of quality control of what they do. So that also ensures that we're getting the right type of officers, doing the right type of traffic management at the right time. And I think feedback from the advisory group and the ward councillors has been traffic management hasn't been the issue that was expected. And one of the big savings of the Hanlon Traffic Management Program was, again, some members will recall, we budgeted something in the range of $6 or $7 million to supplement Mississauga Transit to kind of deal with the log jams, and basically we haven't used any of that. So that's a huge saving, that without that traffic management, we may have ended up spending millions of dollars in having extra buses routing people around those sites. So that on its own basically paid for the program for the next, probably 10 to 20 years.
Okay, thank you, I'm satisfied. Happy to move it.
Okay. You're okay? It's been moved and seconded by moved by Councillor Fonseca, seconded by Mayor Crombie. All in favor? Thank you. The last item on the main items is the flood mitigation strategy down in Ward 1. Moved by Councillor Tovey, seconded by Councillor Kovac. Questions, comments? All in favor? Thank you. We have 4 items of communication.
I got a correction to make.
And are you on the first item?
Yeah.
First item, Mayor Thompson.
Sorry, guys, I jumped the gun here. When I was talking about Sylvia Jones on 8.3, it was 10.3. I apologize. That's the soil one that I was trying to send back to staff, not the waste management. My apologies. But this is the one that I need to have go back to Arvin's department, and that's, and the time frame on it is the 26th, but there's 60 days after that, so. Okay?
Okay, so that you're referring to 10.3?
Yeah, and I'll refer that to staff, and I'll move that, and I'll move the other reports as well.
Okay. Moved by Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councillor Parrish. Any other questions on any of the other items? There's 4 items there. Hearing none, all in favor? Carried.
Just a second.
Oh.
You do on 10.5.
Great, thank you very much. Yes, we have a motion, a resolution from the Great Lakes St. Lawrence Cities Initiative on the Waukesha issue. Deja vu all over again, eh, Karen? So the public comments are closing on the 15th. I'll just run through it quickly. All of my colleagues know what it's about. It's Waukesha is a county that straddles the Great Lakes Basin. Waukesha itself is not in the Great Lakes Basin. They petitioned the International Joint Commission and the 8 governors of the 8 U.S. states to take water. The governor of Wisconsin is supporting their application, so they're determining to take water from the Great Lakes Basin, but not according to their water needs or their water use. They want to. They petitioned to take it as part of their water master plan. Their water master plan calls for them to become a distributor to other municipalities, which are also outside of the Great Lakes Basin. So, as well as we do wonderful work trying to clean up the Great Lakes, they're not going to do us much good if there isn't any water in them. So the Great Lakes St. Lawrence Cities Initiative has put forward a resolution on behalf of 117 municipalities around the Great Lakes, including all of the mayors in the U.S., by the way, and to request that it be rejected. So this is just a further support for that, so I would ask if council would support that, and we can send it on to, so that everybody knows. The other thing about it, which is really interesting, is they're only holding one public meeting on it, and it's in Waukesha. It's like, that's a pretty good deal. So we're requesting that they hold them in all 8 of the states, plus Ontario and Quebec. And the way the compact is written up, we don't get a vote. So Ontario and Quebec won't get a vote. So it'll strictly be the 8 governors of the U.S. states. So that's the motion. Thank you.
I'll second it.
I just need clarification. We haven't passed communications yet. Is this part of communications then, or?
Yeah.
Well, the whole. Okay, so then we had a motion with others moving it, so we'll change the.
We'll just break the other ones off.
Okay, the 4 pieces of communication, I think, were Councillor Thompson, Councillor Shaughnessy. All in favor? Carried. We have the motion in front of you, moved by Councillor Tovey, seconded by Mayor Thompson. All in favor? Carried. Back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. That brings us to items related to health. Councillor Moore, if you'd chair this section, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first item on the agenda is 11.1, the food and menu management procurement, awarding of a procurement. Councillor Thompson.
Yes, and I think you got two good providers here, and I guess the question I have back to the Commissioner of Health is, Health, basically is the local food. I know this is huge, the procurement. I'd like to know what the breakdown is that you have proposed for that.
Through you, Madam Chair, and thanks for the heads up on the question, Mayor Thompson. So yes, I can confirm with the vendors, and they were about equal during the procurement, but for Cisco, who's the primary vendor, for dairy, which includes eggs as well, it's 60% local, and for produce, it's 26% local.
Okay. Would you like to move the report? Seconded by Councillor Shaughnessy. All in favor? That's carried. The next item on the agenda is an information report from the Greater Toronto Airport Authority, or on the Greater Toronto Airport Authority. Councillor Groves.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just wanted to say thank you to staff for the report. As you know, and the medical officer of health knows that this is an issue that I continue to raise, and my constituents continue to raise in our community. And I see that in your conclusion, a lot of it is contributed to the ongoing air pollution burden with heavy motorized vehicle. We seem to have in our community an increase in heavy motorized vehicles. So Councillor Shaughnessy and I will be bringing a motion to our council to look at doing an air quality monitoring both in her area, because she's got a lot of aggregate on her side, and I've got a lot of transport trucks on my side of town. So thank you for this report. I think that this is a great segue into paying more attention to air quality. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Groves. Councillor Parrish.
Yes, thank you very much. I'm right in there with you. Malton has 11,000 trucks a day on its 2 main roads, most of them to do with the airport, and the pollution there is the highest in the GTA, next to Kipling and 427, which apparently has the highest. Just as I put a shot across the bow when I first got elected, asking who was building $1 billion incineration unit close to Ward 5, I'm putting a second one across the bow today. Apparently, there's plans afoot to build a facility for anaerobic digestion of garbage and other such stuff, storage, transfer station at the corner of Dixie and Derry. Now, if you think you can put more trucks pouring in there at Dixie and Derry, you got another thing coming. So heads up to anybody who's interested in that property, buying it, putting something there. I will be fighting that as hard as I can. Dixie is a disaster. The next thing I'm going to ask the region for is a truck study on Dixie, because it is absolutely the most crowded street on the face of the earth. So just heads up to everybody in that department. Don't even look at the corner of Dixie and Derry.
On that note, would you like to move the report?
I would love to move it.
Councillor Groves, you'll second the report. All those in favor? That's carried. And the final report is 11.3. It's the report from the Fluoridation Committee meeting held on February the 11th. Councillor Sprovieri.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a question for clarification. Am I on?
Yep.
Yeah. In the page 2 of the report, or 11.3.2, it states that the staff will prepare a work plan on the topics to be discussed in the approved mandate for consideration at the next committee meeting. I just like to ask staff on and how, if they, I'd like to ask staff if they have began their this work plan and how they will determine which topics to be put on the list for discussion.
Yes, so through you, Madam Chair, we have indeed started working on the work plan, and the items that are to be included will be at the purview of the committee chair and the committee writ large. So it's entirely what the committee sees as appropriate for discussion and for the contents of the work plan, and we will discuss that at the next committee meeting, which is scheduled for the 31st of March.
Okay, and it also states that there's a request to bring Dr. Ito's study at this meeting. That will be done?
Yes, you had made that request,
Yeah.
so it will be
Okay.
on the agenda for the 31st of
Great.
March as well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You'd like to move the,
Certainly, yeah.
Councillor Parrish, seconded. Thank you. All those in favor? That's carried. Mr. Chairman, I'll turn it back to you.
Thank you. Other business? Is there any? Mayor Crombie?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just to Dr. Davila, we had brought forward the analysis of the shisha smoking, the hookah smoking, and you were going to do a public consultation, I believe. Just wonder what the status of that is and when it might be ready to be brought back to council.
Yes, so through the chair, thank you, Mayor Crombie. The consultation has indeed been completed as suggested when we last brought this issue to council, and the anticipation is that we should be here at council with a report at the end of April. April 28th, I believe, is the council meeting that we're targeting at this stage of the game.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. See no notices of motion, bylaws. See, moved by Councillor Ennis, seconded by Councillor Shaughnessy, that the bylaws listed on the Regional Council agenda being bylaws 16-2016 to 18-2016 inclusive be given the required number of readings, taken as read, signed by the Regional Chair and the Regional Clerk, and the corporate seal be affixed thereto. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried. In-camera matters, it's with respect to expropriation proceedings on the twinning of East Brampton Trunk Sewer and Regional Road 107 and Goreway Drive. Is there a need to go into camera? You'll move it, John? Or Councillor Sprovieri, seconded by Councillor Moore. Moved by Councillor Sprovieri, seconded by Councillor Moore, that the recommendation contained within the confidential report related to item 15.1 and related bylaws being bylaws 19-2016, 20-2016, 22-2016, and 25-2016 listed on the March 10th, 2016 Regional Council agenda be approved and become public upon adoption. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried. These are the in-camera bylaws, moved by Councillor Groves, seconded by Councillor Downey, that the bylaws related to the in-camera item 15.1 being bylaws 19-2016, 20-2016, 22-2016, and 25-2016 be given the required number of readings, taken as read, signed by the Regional Chair and the Regional Clerk, and the corporate seal be affixed thereto. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried. Moved by Councillor Mahoney, seconded by Councillor Fonseca, that bylaw 2016 to confirm the proceedings of Regional Council at its meeting held on March 10th, 2016, and to authorize the execution of documents in accordance with the Region Appeal bylaws relating thereto be given the required number of readings, taken as read, signed by the Regional Chair and the Regional Clerk, and the corporate seal be affixed thereto. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried. Moved by Councillor Tovey, seconded by Councillor Councillor Yanika, that the March 10th, 2016 Regional Council meeting be adjourned. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Carried.